There are times where mere words are not enough to express the deep gratitude I feel for the parent who raised me, despite the hardships, tragedy, and personal strife. She never faltered, nor wavered in the face of it all. I do hope these humble sentences may paint a more complete picture of what an extraordinary parent, human, and strong woman my mother is. To start with, my mother is a very educated woman who grew up in the roughest situations one can imagine back in the 1950s. But over time, the situation improved, and she went on to better environments, where she became educated and has used her intelligence to work hard all her life to attain what she wanted and set up a life where stability and prosperity could be facilitated, as well as a place where creativity could be forged. And it's no wonder my sister and I became such wonderful designers and artists, for she was there every step of the way, giving words of encouragement and even joining us in our daily activities whenever she had a chance. I am reminded of an instance where my mother and I went to Target in order to get various accoutrements. While she was off getting the items, I, being a child, went off towards the toys and video games section, where I found something that I haven't seen before. During the time, you see, there was these model buildings made of foam puzzle pieces called, if memory serves me right, Puzzle 3D, Puzzle 3D? The building in question was the Cathedral Notre Dame in Paris. Since then, I already had architectural interest, and this was one of the many embers that sparked the fires of learning that made steam towards my future. Later that evening, she would lend a hand in building the puzzle, and it wasn't long before she was fascinated by the ingenuity of it all, and helped me get a few more. Before he knew it, every evening became puzzle night, until we completed a great number of them. All this, mind you, after she was working all day in my father's shop. I could tell, in the way only a child's intuition could, that she was tired, and at times, but she would still stay up with me just to partake in enlightening activities, whether it be puzzles, reading, or telling me stories, or any number of activities. I knew these also served her as a welcome distraction, since my father at times would not come home at night. Needless to say, she would attempt to fill the gap, and still manage to foster enlightenment, for she knew that education is one of the most important treasures. Which brings me to how wonderfully she puts up with me in college. Although I often find myself buried in my computer working, she is incredibly supportive and understanding of what my responsibilities are to my education and to my architectural profession. Providing coffee after long nights of studio work, continuing to hear my ramblings on how this building works or of this other thing here and there. You can say her patience is amongst one of her many virtues, for it has always been engraved in me, and is, in my opinion, one of the major keys of success, along with never taking your eye off the prize. My mother is also an extraordinary parent, in the style she raised me and educated me. Although my father was there for a brief time, he mostly spent majority of his time with his business. Consequently, I will not see him as often. And when he unexpectedly passed away, my mother did not waver to do what she must to get the family ahead. Tragedy has a way of changing people in such profound ways. It activates something within us that either makes us toil in trauma or can give people the courage to push through even the most consternating of circumstances. However, I believe that my mother made the most sacrifices, not just for me, but herself, due to us being the only two people in the immediate family. My sister, by this time, moved away to make her own life, but would graciously give us a hand whenever we needed it the most. But for the most part, it was just her and I, fending off what may. But with her wit, resource, and all her incredible intelligence, she was able to secure a home. And just like she always has, she kept working hard to keep us above water until life improved in the later years. Those days were indeed a very stressful time, but she never wavered. On the contrary, she continues to encourage and continues to live for the things that are good and all. It is my earnest belief that my mother serves as a wonderful inspiration on what a human will can achieve, despite adversity and all the odds set against one. Yet she is determined enough to make her own luck, to get herself and her family through all sorts of consternations. Truly, I do not know of anyone else who could have managed to keep their cool and maintain their dignity after such strife. I believe it is the strength only a woman of vision, and that of a mother's love for her children, that makes her invincible, and I am forever grateful and thankful to have her.